Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Meredith. My name is Hmm. My name is Meredith Mynrose. I'm a universal healer and a peace visionary. And we will be doing an Aries. Yeah, I feel like when I speak, my bird kinda boop my voice. So let me just come right back. Baby, I'm so sorry, but you have to go. Or should you like rest for a while and then cover you up? Okay, cover you lazy cake. I should cover you guys. This is how you're gonna sleep. This is how you're gonna sleep. Okay, I did not move my birds, but I leave them covered. But I think that they like to speak when I speak. So we'll figure it out. Okay, people. What we're gonna do is um we're going to shuffle our deck. This is for Aries sign, Universal Healing Forecast for late March 2020. And until the next one, just imagine this is for April as well. Okay, let me check the I'm just checking the voice. Because last time somebody funny made a funny mistake, and the funny mistake is that nobody could listen to me for 5 minutes in one of my previous videos. Okay, so this is for Aries, the energy of Aries. To whomever who resonates with the sign of Aries, whatever placement in your chart, if you have a ascendant or a moon in Aries or a sun in Aries, whichever one you want. I need some smell. Smelling fragrances that grounds me. Okay, that's alcohol. I just had this flashing thought like, oh, if you ran out of sanitizer, just use perfume. You're like alcoholic. Okay, so we're gonna shuffle. We're going to connect to the energy. If you guys want to watch this movie, the Celestine Prophecy, I will post the link in. Okay, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna post the link in the live chat. Switch account, no. History. Library. History, yes. History. Celestine Prophecy. Share the link. Live streaming. Paste. Okay, so the link for the Celestine Prophecy is on the live chat, and just FYI, this live stream is recorded private, but you can leave a comment after you. Just you can leave a comment if you want to say something. Okay, so Aries, this is a message for you guys. Aries. So if you guys are watching this video after you watch the Cancer Universal Healing Forecast video yesterday. We were talking about psychopath. We were talking about toxic people doing rituals to hurt you and give you like negative energy, bad karma, curses. And we revealed that that person has the possum animal archetype. And when I looked up the meaning of dreaming, even though I did not dream about it, we were talking about the energy of a possum archetype. The energy says that the energy in the dream meaning, the energy of a possum means that that person legit, legally, knowingly know that what they're doing is wrong, but they did not care. They do not have any conscience to care what they're doing is wrong. So I just want to share that with you guys in case. And yesterday, this is the story. Yesterday, if you guys are following up, yesterday, we were entering the Akashic records. Oh my goodness. The reason why I say oh my goodness is because I knew that like it was intense. Because I went to sleep and obviously I went to do astral work, and before I went to sleep I had this calling to have this intention to connect to a certain type of crystal, and it's called the candle quartz. The candle quartz is also known as the Atlantean heart star and some other name, but it's used to access Akashic records, and I didn't need it, and I'm like, why am I so like, why do I need this? Why do I need to connect to candle quartz? And then when I see the specifications or the metaphysical meaning, and I'm like, oh, so that it is aligned to Akashic record, using this crystal to access Akashic records. So if you have access to buy candle quartz, you can always search for it in your local metaphysical stores, crystal stores, or online. Most of the time, I think, I use Etsy. I rarely go out to buy crystals now, and also we are in lockdown, we cannot like go and buy anything. So I wanted to share that story with you guys. Okay, everybody, I'm done. I'm done shuffling. I'm gonna pull out 7 or 8. It depends on my hand. 6, 8. Yes. I'll pull out 8. I'm not gonna open it yet. And then we're going to shuffle another one. One came out. I did not dry my hair that much. I tie it in a bun, so my hair is sticking out inside. Okay. This one came out. Have the remainder a mystery. Okay, let's pull out all the cards first. everybody, we're almost done. Okay everybody, we're almost done. Oh, you have the Fool coming out, flipped out. Okay everybody, we are doing this. This is a golden healer. This is a crystal I have. It's called the golden healer. We have the zeolite or polysite. And we have this as well. Maybe if I cover it like this, you guys can see this. So you guys can see this clearly, right? Yes. First card is Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. And then Page of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, Four of Wands in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. Hey, was it reverse? I'm not sure. What did I do? Okay, I'm gonna look at that so that I see if it's really reverse or not. Wheel of Fortune reverse. I'm just seeing the Page of Swords, if I do it reverse or not. I'm looking at the live stream. No, it's not reverse. But I twisted it. And then I see myself being confused if I twisted it. Okay, let's just stick to reverse. And Page of Wands in reverse. All of your cards are in reverse. Ooh, interesting. Wait, are you sure? Uh-huh, yeah, I'm sure. Okay, all of your cards are in reverse. Interesting. Ten of Pentacles reverse. Ace of Cups reverse. Three of Cups reverse. Six of Pentacles reverse. Nine of Wands reverse. 3, 6, 9. Queen of Pentacles. And also reverse. This is upright, the Hermit. The Hermit is upright. And we have the Fool upright, because it fell first. Queen of Pentacles again, upright. Seven of Pentacles reverse. King of Cups reverse. Ten of Pentacles reverse. Ten of Cups reverse. Nine of Swords. You, Aries, is struggling with self-esteem and self-worth. Okay. I have someone in mind when I'm like thinking about this. Another Aries. Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. Page of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Swords. Wheel of Fortune, Page of Wands. Okay, so one of the things that came up is that you felt as if you're sliding back, that all your efforts has been for nothing and means nothing. So I can resonate and relate a little bit because again, I think it is important that I put myself in your shoes and tell you stories of how I relate when I share the messages on the tarot cards. Okay, so let me tell you a story. 6 years ago, I went off and started my studio for healing. And I worked very hard to do healing, and somewhere around the after the first year, I struggled, and then there was this traumatic incident with my family that made me cut all contacts and pushed me deeper into this kind of like breaking point. I broke, but I still kept going. And I felt like I'm in a stage where I felt as if all of my efforts, like this is now 6 years past or 5 years past, 2014 to 2020. What is it? 6, 7, 5? I don't know. But the point is that I'm back where I was with several things missing. Like my dad is now no longer on earth physically, but he visits. And the first layer of the card, it says that you guys feel as if all your efforts of striving somewhere felt as if it was pointless and meaningless. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second layer of the card with the 10, a lot, all of it is reversed except for the Hermit. The reverse ones are 10 of Pentacles. 10 means money, financial disappointment. Ace of Cups, maybe it's like emotional setbacks. And then we have Three of Cups, like just a very close friendship that gone sour. And then Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is usually generosity, but I can feel like you learn not to be generous with friends, or you've learned that your generosity has been taken advantage of by your friends. Maybe that is why you're sour. Your close friendships turn sour. And then there's Nine of Wands, and then you had to bear the burden alone. As if those people who took advantage of you left you hanging. And you kind of like miss the abundance you used to feel and have. So Aries, there is some kind of like a financial abundance that maybe you took for granted. There's no one that I'm messing with right now. When I say you took for granted, it's like you have this financial abundance that some people don't have, and then they take advantage of you, and it turns sour, and you miss. They didn't. So you don't realize that they've been using you for something, and that something could be like forms of monetary, or like your personal power, your solar plexus energy, and personal values and friendships. Solar plexus. Money is earth or fire. Money is fire. You perceive that people only see you for your wealth, not for your values, not for your healthy traits as a good human. People saw you as a means to an end. Maybe some of you do not resonate to this, but maybe some of you do. We also have the Hermit, and then the Fool, and then the Queen of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles, and the King of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and Nine of Swords. The first layer is this feeling of reversed effort, like feeling like your efforts to pursue an ambition in life had been withdrawn, and it seems hard for you to proceed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, there was betrayal. Because I only pulled out 7, I did not pull out 10, 10, 10. So we have 2 more cards. 3, 6, 2, 8. The Emperor energy. And King of Cups again. Yes, King of Cups. And the last one is 6, 8, 9. You have Nine of Cups both, and then you have King of Cups, and then you have betrayal. There's a lot of sour agreements. There's betrayals. And the last one where there's like 10 of Cups and then 10 of Pentacles, and then there's 9 of Swords and Sadness. It feels like the way you see your future, the way you perceive your future is like these people make it seem like you do not deserve a happy future, a happy relationship, a happy career, and a happy self. It feels as if you associated the wealth that you shared with others, and then the betrayal that occurred, you associated that they took wealth from you and betray you, and you associated the meaning of that wealth was your opportunity to build something for yourself, was the opportunity to connect with people on your level, was the opportunity for you to have a delicate romance, love relationship. When I say delicate romance, meaning like the luxury or the like you want to pamper your loved one, you can't even do that because you associated your the betrayal of the sour agreement as to like they've taken more than your wealth, they've taken certain belief you have about, they cheated you, and you hyperbolize, meaning that you magnify or make it bigger than it seems. Maybe it's just your dramaticness. Aries energy is fiery. Maybe you're very dramatic in associating with what they've done. You associate it to this hyperbolized future of doom and gloom, and you associated their betrayal to stealing your future, stealing your ability to pamper yourself and your loved ones, stealing your happy career and stealing your happy personality, personal self-care. So it's like the hyperbolizing or hyperbole, meaning like you over dramatize their betrayal, because you're quite a deep feel balanced and harmonized with all of the other elements. So one of the key fact action that the universe wants to share is that start to disengage your interpretation of people betraying you for a career, an opportunity, or a contact list, or some project that you had, and people betrayed you and stabbed you in the back, and then they run away with this idea, and then you assume or you associate their action to screwing with you, to screwing you up, to f you up, to like cut corners and cheat you of your success. So we want you, the universe wants you to release the drama and curb, kind of like swivel. What is that term where it's like pilots, like you know when the boomerang bounces. so it's like ricochet. There is another word for it, but those people who betrayed you and had a very sour agreement, you gotta clear how you interpret their actions. You gotta clear how you interpret the effect of their action. You define and you limit the interpretation of that betrayal. You limit and define their betrayal and not them screwing your life, hyperbolizing and over dramatizing that your future is over, that your life is over, that your career is over, that. So we want to damage control, like we want the universe through Meredith, us wants you to realize that we want you to control the damage that has been done by not feeding into dramatization or hyperbolizing or magnifying, extremely open it into a higher magnitude. Like we want to curb the damage. We want to buffer the damage control. We want to reduce the post-apocalyptic effect of it. Shoot, my stomach. We want you to be in control of how you define that betrayal. And we want you to limit the growth of the, for example, virus. We want you to limit the growth of the virus. We're talking about literal virus that's going around the world or what? So the universe is saying that limiting the post effect of the betrayal, limiting the definition of it, limiting the interpretation of it. I say definition and then I say interpretation. Like it's the same thing. I know. Um, I guess something does not need to have a passionate response. There are things that do not need a passionate response. When I say passionate response, you are told, advised to learn, to choose how you react to negative situations without hyperbolizing or maximizing, magnifying your shock reaction. You know, like a dramatic reaction? You don't have to create a dramatic reaction from people betraying you, and you can limit the definition of their betrayal to you, and you can curb the effect, and you can freeze the influence of the harm that was imposed onto you. You can freeze the influence because you can control how it affects your mind, your body, your mind, and your soul. And you can choose to freeze, to curb, to ricochet, or to let it bounce. And because you got to understand that as much as some person has done things to you, to hurt you, to cause you grief, sorrow, pain, or loss, at the end, still, with a personal awareness and connection to your personal spirituality, you would learn and understand the disguise of it is that those people who shown their true colors, who shown their true values, and of course your reaction would be negative, but you don't have to be victimized by their behavior or mistreatment or betrayal towards you. You don't have to be victimized because the thing is, you had the power to walk away, and that is your ultimate power. Aries and other signs, your ultimate power was recognizing that you're not going to put up with bullshit. You're not going to put up with liars or manipulators. And the power of you don't recognize that you had the power to walk away, and that doesn't make you a victim. And that makes you a person who knows your worth. So you don't have to battle with self-worth or self-esteem issues because they did a negative projection to keep you trapped in this idea where, oh, you were fooled, seriously right, you're like my victim. But you had the power to walk away, and you have the power to start over from scratch. Okay, you have the power to start over from scratch. And those people who make you perceive that they can steal your happy career, your happy future, your happy relationship, your happy abundance, it's the deception and trickery of the mind, and they play with your perception by making you feel intense hatred or intense negativity to suck you into the consciousness of victimhood. And because you're in Aries, you get very triggered when people manipulate your fire element, making you feel like the right thing to do is to react strongly, and then they use your reaction to pull you down even deeper into the rabbit hole of victim mindedness. And like, I think I can connect this to my previous reading for Cancer. We were talking about psychopaths who have the possum energy, possum animal archetype. They knew what they did was wrong. They betray you on purpose. They betray you on purpose. And the universe is saying that you don't have to react strongly to, because they have the possum energy. Alright. They knew what they were doing was wrong. Now I know another possum person. But you don't have to react strongly to them. They manipulate you, and it's like they parasite and leech on your emotions, and then they hold that against you. So learning to minimize your reaction towards people who betray you, and recognizing that you have the ultimate power, recognizing the fact that your other very significant but subliminal response was leaving. And by that, you have to reconstruct the perspective in your mind that says, hey, I'm leaving. I'm leaving with my power. I am minimizing my reaction to your betrayal because I am not shocked nor disappointed, but I accept this is who you are. I may have been fooled or tricked, but I gave people the benefit of a doubt. I give people my trust, but it does not mean that I'm foolish. It means that I still live with my heart open. I still live with my soul ready to love. And when I see the red flag of betrayal, I don't have to stay and still be brainwashed to be their victim. And I have the power to have my ultimate power to leave toxic friendship, relationship agreements, sour contracts, sour deals. And you carry your dignity along with it when you walk away from people who betrayed you, and you minimize your response. You minimize your response. You minimize your reaction. You have to learn. And I know for me, I have a fucking temper tantrum, and people trigger me, and like my family freaking trigger me, and I'm like, I have a temper tantrum, and I couldn't control my high blood pressure, and I would like either just be fucking dramatic and cry and shit, and I just had to take a fucking breather and breathe it out, and I just like on the same spot I neutralize my emotions, and I'm like, I'm sorry I burst out like that, but what you did was wrong. And I told them like what they done was wrong, and like please don't do that again, because I am not really willing to be exposed to that. So I said my piece, and I explained whatever misconfusion that was, and I just let it go and let it slide, and I don't carry as a grudge, but also at the same time, I don't let it limit me from continue living with an open heart and soul. So that was something that happened between me and a family member, where I was like triggered, and I was like exploding, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, being like talking like this to me? And then so that was like me exploding, but I was like, on the same conversation, I took a damn breather. So Aries, if you feel like you're exploding, take a damn breather, and then realign your perspective, reconstruct your perspective to minimize your reaction to the trigger, to what makes you feel angry and rage and passionately want to react and dramatize the bullshit that is being thrown to you. Minimize the response, and then And then, like, you have the power. Like, no response is also a response. But if you require to respond, um, you know, you don't have to feel wrong in any way, feel diminished, inferior in any way. Um, pull your energy into your solar plexus and breathe in. Take a breather, because when you're not calm, your energy is erratic, and then you tend to like be flabbergasted, and then you tend to like lose the way you control your speech, maybe. Um, because you know all the fire is coming up. People trigger you to make you anxious, nervous, angry, mad, upset, and you just have to like breathe in, pause, feel your solar plexus, and kind of like reconstruct the way I see things, reconstruct the way I want to respond, reconstruct the way that I want to feel, reconstruct the way I'm going to like respond, react, feel, think, be, come, being in yourself. So the universe is saying that you got to learn to choose which experiences you want to react positively and negatively. And if there is no way out but to react negatively to certain experiences, limit the trigger, limit how much the trigger controls you. Okay, limit how much the trigger controls you. So it means that sometimes there will be people pushing our buttons to test our temper. Sometimes there will be people who will push our buttons to test our temper tantrum and the way that we carry our dignified self or boundaries. Sometimes there will be people who just like try to push your buttons and try to piss you off on purpose. And that's the not buffoon, possum energy. Possum energy is that they know what they're doing is wrong, but they don't fucking care. So I think the energy of the cups, Knight of Cups in reverse, Knight of Cups in reverse. Also another one here, Knight of Cups in reverse. Also Ace of Cups in reverse. Also Ten of Cups in reverse. King of Cups in reverse. But you have one King of Cups that is upright. So your practice, Aries, in this March or April energy is to control your temper by minimizing the way you react to people who intentionally want to trigger you and make you piss off, because that's just how they find way out of their stupid life's boredom, I think. I don't know. But maybe this is why I do Cancer. I do Aries after Cancer, because in the reading for Cancer, we're talking about toxic people who just loves to push your button and pull your triggers, pull the strings. You're like, if they think that you can be controlled, they think of you as a puppet, and then you're gonna pull your strings. Okay, so for this universal healing forecast for Aries, what else? The first thing that we touched was about how you felt all your efforts were for nothing. The second thing that we touched was about how you had a sour agreement with something, you had a sour patch with some relationship with close people, and they take advantage of your wealth. It could be your spiritual wealth, it could be your magnificent personality, it could be something about you that they taken advantage for, taken granted, taken for a ride. And there's betrayal. There's definitely betrayal. Okay, we're gonna go to the last part of the reading. I mentioned to you guys about how these people triggers you, and you kind of associate doom and gloom from them hurting you. But you have to learn to minimize the risk, or not minimize the definition, the interpretation of their betrayal. What you do to me, it does not. You define, you take the narrative, you take your story back. They may have tried to, like, just kind of like took like this big red marker and say in your book of like Akashic book record and say you are not worthy. They're gonna like scribble and doodle and like scratch negative things into your book of life. But whatever they do is in their own karmic book of lessons for them to like be remorseful and come into peace with their own negativity. But you don't have to take ownership of other people's behavior. You don't have to be responsible for how other people mistreat you and abuse you. You don't have any take in that. Some people act from their own account. Some people behave from their own negativity, from their own root of misery. Okay? So those people who betrayed you, they have this root of misery. They try to like dump this miserable energy on you. And then they want to try to make you miserable because it gives them relief to make other people feel miserable because they're so miserable inside their own soul. So what can I say? Okay. So you write, you take back the narrative of your book of life, and you take back, even though, despite, even though, however. So if you do some journaling, use this. Even though this bad thing happened to me, however, even though this negative thing happened today, despite of this negative thing that happened today, I still am grateful. And then, is there anything else? Despite, however. There's so many kind of like these verbs. I think it's a verb, right? I'm really bad with like learning the basics of grammar, but whatever. If you ask me what's a verb, what's a noun, I can't tell you. I can guess, but I can't tell you. So it's like you're saying that even though, however, despite these circumstances, we still will forge forward and choose where we put our fiery, energetic, passionate energy. We won't use our passionate, positive energy on negative people. We will minimize our reaction to negative, unsupportive, and betrayed and traitor of a human being. And that's when you're going to reclaim. That's when you're going to reclaim your Queen of Pentacles. You're going to be like, so like, I am safe and sound in my power, in my passion, in my vitality, in my energy. I choose who receives negative or positive response. I choose who I can be dramatic with or who I am not interested to have drama with. You choose to refuse to hyperbolize your future from other people's very small-minded perception. And then the full energy is here. So you're gonna have your vigor of life back. You're gonna have your joy de vivre back in your life. Back in your life. I feel like suddenly I'm speaking like too much French. My first French phrase was "pas parler français." It means that I don't speak in French. I think some old businessman was trying to like hit on me on my way onto like because maybe he finished his work or something, and I was in Paris, Charles de Gaulle, not the airport, some Paris train station going to Belgium, going to Brussels, Belgium, and then this man was like trying to like stop me and say, "Hey, do you know this direction?" And I'm like, "Pas parler français, au revoir." And he's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. He was speaking to me in French. Anywho, Seven of Pentacles. But he's definitely like businessman. He's not even in my age group. He's definitely somebody's like uncle or dad. He's not that damn old, but he's definitely like. Anyway, let's talk about all these people later. Suddenly, I remember about some guy who helped me when I was lost in Milan. I was lost in Italy, and I was carrying this fucking heavy backpack for like I know it's like 20 kg backpack because I still was carrying some stuff, and then I was like, ugh. I was like sweating, and I was like wearing this t-shirt. And I'm looking around, and then this man with this woman, he was like, looking at me, and he's like, and then both of them halfway approached me, and then I'm like halfway approaching them, and then the guy helped me out by pointing where I need to go because I was holding this phone and maybe a piece of paper. I was like looking around like a tour fucking wrist. I was like a fucking tourist. I'm like, where am I going? Where's this street or the name of this? I was looking for my hostel. Because I did not book a hostel beforehand, I just walked into a hostel and they said that there was not a place, and she said it's just down the road to the right or left, and then I was like trying to figure out where it was. But Milan is a very interesting city. Um, so yeah, I've never talked to you about going to Milan, right? I've been there. It's really nice. I went to the Duomo and then I had the most amazing bagel sandwich. It was like salmon with poached eggs with sour cream cheese. And the next day I tried it again because I'm like, oh my goodness, the breakfast there in that cafe opposite the Duomo was very nice. And then I tried it again, and then it wasn't so nice anymore. It's just the first bite in love is the first bite kind of thing. Anyway, let's come back to this energy. I don't know why I talked to you about the Italy energy, but yeah, I made some friends in Italy. I just went to Milan. I didn't go to Rome. Yeah, I just went to Milan. Milan was a bit better than France in the terms of people don't harass you so much. Like immigrants in France was harassing me when I was in Sacre Bleu. I didn't even get to go into Sacre Bleu to the other side of it, you know? Because I'm like, oh, okay, too far. I had to, like, I start to realize that when I travel, I just kind of like travel to meet people and just to take snapshots. But I don't really immerse myself into the travel. I didn't go inside the Louvre Museum in Paris. I didn't go inside. I was walking around the top roof, and then but I did went up to the Eiffel Tower. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. So Seven of Pentacles. I feel like you're gonna work on controlling how people make you feel. You're gonna become more aware of how people trigger your passion, your emotions, and your feelings, and you're going to really kind of like do this to your heart. You're like don't do this to my heart, don't do this to my heart, I'm gonna defend my heart, I'm gonna guard my heart. So you're gonna be more active, proactive in like shielding your heart from people triggering it so that they can control you. Because the people who betrayed you controlled you by manipulating your heart. So Aries, your heart chakra needs to be released of negative elements by those toxic people who had their hand in your heart and pulling the strings of your heart just so that they know this is wrong. And I know this is a divine way for me making universal healing forecasts because the one I did yesterday for Cancer, and then I do this one in Aries. All my universal healing forecast has a storyline, has an energy channeling into each other's storyline. Okay, so you're gonna learn to recognize the value of your emotions, and you're gonna be really picky on who gets to trigger what emotions or evoke emotions. Maybe, for example, if somebody likes you, and just because somebody likes you, you just let them enter your heart, and you just give them everything that they think they want of you, and then you realize that, oh, this is the wrong person. The only reason I like this person is because that person likes me. It's like you never even question yourself, like, do I like this person, or am I just kind of like get deceived by the fact that that person is so intensely mirroring these emotions that would make me feel so damn good. You know, like some energy for Leo. Leo gets praised often, and they love to get praises. But at the same time, people use their vulnerability to take advantage of them. So for you to like get into the gang with Leo energy, you gotta like learn to praise them, kind of like put them on a pedestal, treat them like they're kings and royalty and special, you know. But for Aries, I think your vulnerability may be that mirroring the intensity, some of this possum, traitor, sociopath, narcissist, psychopath energy, would that they mirror your passionate energy, but they probably don't have the same amount of, like, they know what they want, but because you let them in without reservation. So as much as you want to live with an open heart, you got to know what you want, and you can choose who enters your life, and you can choose who can evoke emotions in your life. It's like some people enter your life and then they will knock certain emotions at the door of your heart. I love what I just said. Some people enters your life and they will knock the door of your heart, and then they will awaken certain emotions. There were people in your past who did that on the false pretenses that they're good friends, reliable, trustworthy, and then they knock on it, and then they're like jamming the door so that they always have access to those emotions. Whenever they feel miserable, they call you, and then they're like, hey, you know what? I think that we should hang out, and then they don't tell you that they're miserable. And then when you leave, and then you're like, I feel miserable. I don't know why. Maybe because they're just using you to like the wealth of your feelings. So there's some something that they betrayed you, like some sociopath, some possum energy, some user, some manipulative user was using your very passionate energy. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I think I have a very strong Aries somewhere in my chart because I do relate to this reading as well, because previously, before I met toxic people, I was like very passionate and very kind of enthusiastic and very like gung-ho and very like I have so much energy. I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to try this. But you know, after I was like betrayed by so many people, I started to like digress. Anyway, so Seven of Pentacles, we're gonna have to learn. So people are gonna learn. Aries, you may learn to control who wakes up what energy inside you. Okay? Who wakes up the anger inside you? Who wakes up the jealousy, the bitterness inside you? And then you have to kind of check the inventory of your heart. Is it really your feelings, or is it that they are trying to manipulate you into perceiving that you're someone you're not, so that they can dump their negative feelings into you? So this is for Cancer, some of you who have a placement in Cancer, because when I was speaking about Cancer yesterday night, in the Universal Healing Forecast for Cancer, I said that Cancer feels so deeply um, of other people's feelings. Aries, for you, you're like the opposite. You feel so deeply of your feelings. Oh my god, I'm so this is so funny that I'm seeing the contrast, the contra between Cancer, who's a deep feeler of other people's feelings, and Aries, who's a deep feeler of their own feelings. Oh my goodness. Okay. So anyway, the message is that control who wakes up the demon or the angel within you, and then revise or review the content, the inventory of your heart, and question, interrogate your emotions when it's triggered. Is this really my bullshit? Do I really feel like this? Why the fuck would I feel like this if there's nothing to be jealous about? So some people would start drama with you by doing negative projection, and by doing negative projection, they are throwing their personal darkness onto you, and they're going to rob you of your response. Because there were so many situations that I endured with toxic psychopath and sociopath. They imitate my demeanor, my traits, my character, and then in a very weird environment and setting, very inappropriate environment and setting, they're trying to pretend they're me and they're this confident person, and then they're like, oh, I'm doing this kind of MLM, I would really want you to. I'm like, what the hell is this woman showing her confidence to a guy who is guys on the street working in grocery shops like that. I'm like, don't you have a proper audience to do that with? Why do you stop people on the street? Why the fuck am I here? So I was already trapped in that friendship, and at that time my mind was already lumpy. My mind was lumpy because I was so brainwashed at that time. Oh my goodness. So what she did was that she tried to steal my response by acting the way I would act, but in a very weird environment and setting and situation where it's so inappropriate. And I was like, oh my god, I think this is right now I think, oh my god, she's so crazy. There are crazy people in the world, and I am fucking scared that there's fucking crazy people in the world, and I already met so many of them. And then those people are the ones who are telling people that I'm crazy. No, I didn't do what you did. So my response in the past was leaving, and I remember to limit their behavior and their actions to betray me. I limit the definition and interpretation, but I still go through some very rocky times doing my healing studio and meeting clients and attracting customers for my business. It's a rocky time, but I'm here, and I read something from this woman's diary, doodle diary. She's Kun tarot maker. Her. She has a tarot card called Kun. Qun is Arabic for something very powerful stuff. It was in the Quran. Kun fayakun is I love the word kun fayakun. If I say it, it shall be, and that's what God says. If I say it, it shall be. um, in the Quran is like the Muslim version of the Bible. Um, in her little diary that she was doodling and drawing, because she's an artist, she painted her own cards. I had a reading with her on her Instagram. You guys can check it out. What was it? She said, "I am the compilation of all the sad, ugly things that happen." So, so something like that. I'm the compilation of the sad, ugly things that happened in my past or something. So, um, just knowing that fact is fine. It's just that now you have choices to make, pretty nice things that can happen in your present and your future. And you gotta build it. You gotta harvest and build pretty and nice experiences for your future. You plant those seeds and nurture them daily. You have an idea in your mind that brings you happiness, and then you take a first step, and then you maintain that relationship with that idea. You have this supportive and ongoing, loving, caring relationship with your projects, your ideas, and your feelings. And then you're going to bond with those energy again, and it's called self-care. And it's allowing you to have this healthy, firmer, more resistant boundary towards toxic people and narcissists and sociopaths. Yeah. So I think some people cheat us normal humans by using black magic to like affect us in a way that's harmful. But because the divine loves us, they send us help. They send us situations to help wake us up. It's called spirituality. So when you learn to curb the post-apocalyptic effect of the attempt for them to make you dramatic, they want to make you dramatic. They want to feed off of your insanity, projection, negativity of insecurity. There is, when I mentioned to you guys that you got to learn to know how you really feel and start to interrogate your feelings of why you gotta feel that way, why you gotta feel this way, why you gotta perceive it this way. And then you have to restructure your perspective in life. You have to rearrange your thinking so that you have a clear and clean perspective, so that the perspective will evoke a healthier response of truth and light and embodiment of your authenticity, genuine being. And you learn to ground your truth. You learn to ground yourself. And you learn to know that my reaction to others is based on my wisdom and personal belief of self-love, and people cannot use me to instigate a fight, to instigate or start a drama. I don't start drama. I don't start fight. And you don't have to start a fight or drama with people who betray you. You can choose to have the ultimate power of walking away and knowing that if there was something that they can do and they cannot do it because they're not willing to, let it go. Let it go. And like, just move on to something else that would give you what you want. And when they are ready to kind of give you what you want, and they're willing to tolerate and what is that, compromise, then you know you have an open soul with a very firm and resistant to bullshit boundaries, and you learn to be um, less dramatic over negative people, circumstances, and you learn to freeze the way that your reaction is defined by learning that you are in charge of your own Akashic book of records, book of life, and however people mistreat you, abuse you, call you names, or hurt you or harm you, you still don't have to take it to heart. You don't have to take their definition of who you are to heart. You don't have to absorb their negativity, and you just kind of like restructure you, at the same time. If it triggers you, obviously humans are not perfect, you may be triggered. When it triggers you, you can go and sit in the meditation and ask yourself, why does this trigger me? Why do I feel like a person can control my feelings? Why do I feel that I'm losing my head over this person? What is it? What is truly bugging me? Where is the true insecurity? And then if you put all the logic inside the drama, and you rationalize the drama, and you recognize, when you restructure your perspective, you restructure your feelings, and you restructure your belief system, you restructure your past experiences, and you restructure your future responses. If I behave in this way, I will get a different outlook, a different pathway to a different circumstances. So for you to kind of like change the way you respond to toxic environment that is very fueled, very fiery, very dramatic, when you learn to freeze and be calm and control your power, and learn to take that passion energy and kind of like refuse to be passionate about negative responses to negative people. They can't do anything when they don't get the reaction they need to start and instigate a negative energy, which I think is a very valuable lesson to everyone, because we know how it F up our life living with toxic people. So you actually have the High Priestess as well. So this is like a deep, a deep call to connect to your higher self, Aries. A deep call to connect to your higher self. And you will definitely rearrange the way you perceive your dignity, self-esteem, and self-worth. You can have everything good in this world as long as you're like, you know, you can channel your energy in a very productive and positive way, and people do not manipulate or deplete your energy by triggering you and instigating drama or fight to make you lose focus in what really matters to you, what really is important in your life. And you learn to limit the effect, the post-apocalyptic effect of people trying to start a feud, a war, a negativity in your soul, mind, spirit, body, physical being, and consciousness, and well-being, and physiological and psychological self. So um, you don't have to feel this Nine of Swords energy, because now the lesson here for you, Aries, is that limit that negative response to drama, and don't let people evoke you into fights to rile you up. um, like, people will be jerks, people will be nasty, and people will be the possum spirit archetype, where they know what they're doing is wrong, but they can't help themselves because they're fucking demonic in a way, or maybe they're not demonic, but maybe they're just toxic, or maybe they're just plain ignorant or hateful or discriminating. But you know, there's many layer and levels of human who are good and bad. Everyone out there is trying to teach us something. However, we don't like it, we dislike it, we hate it, we just wanna it. It's okay. Life is a freaking lesson that makes us feel stupid sometimes, make us feel f out sometimes, but you know, we still live. We still live, we still believe that there's goodness in the world, and we can make it a choice to believe that every day you try to do good in the world, you try to invite goodness in your world, and whatever else you can't control, you let it go, you surrender, and whatever you can control, you learn it bit by bit, tidbits, step by step, small steps, and you just understand that your spiritual journey will awaken your true strength, will make you learn to love yourself so much more, will make you learn to know your vulnerabilities and your strength, and how your strength comes from your most vulnerable self that endured so much trauma and so much pain and so much grief and sorrow and dejection and rejection and abandonment and isolation. Back to the hermit. You're gonna find yourself and you're gonna connect to your higher self. You're gonna find yourself and you are going to connect to your higher self. And you will feel free, Aries. You will feel free. So take the advices from myself and the universe together as much as you can. You have Wheel of Fortune. When life looks like it's going in the direction you are like, no. It's like you feel like the life is reversing to like stand still, back to square one. Like in my vision right now, the film or the video is like reversing all the way to like square one zero, ground zero, square one, and you're like, no. But actually, it's a new beginning for you guys. It's a whole new beginning. And then you have this Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles waiting for you when you reach that potential that you're working so hard for, and you're going to learn to use your passion to something productive and something fulfilling and useful. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Five of Swords again? Yes. Whatever that makes you feel very, very like mentally drained, you're gonna get over it. So if you like this video, click thumbs up. If you have something to share, leave a comment. If you want to ask me something not in the comment, you can email me at meredithmynrose@gmail.com. If you want a session or your personal private tarot reading, you can check out my website, meredithmynrose.com, and click on like schedule a session or the psychic tab, and then I'll see you for a session. So thank you for being here. My name is Meredith Mynrose. I'm a universal healer and a peace visionary. Until next time. For now, take care. Bye.